Hey everybody, this is Jennifer with Canvas Sign Designs. Welcome to Hand Lettering Happy Hour, your weekly hand lettering live tutorial. I don't know. How are you guys doing? Say hello, come in. Let me know who's watching today and where you're watching from. I have a fun project for you today. I had a couple of the ladies in my hand lettering group request that I show this technique here. This is a little notebook that we made last year in the Happy Lettering Club. Well, we made these little craft notebooks last year in the Hand Lettering Club. And after I did that live in the group, I was just having so much fun creating these that I created this one here. So they have the tutorial for these two, but there is no tutorial for this one. So somebody asked me if I would show this technique. So I thought Hand Lettering Happy Hour is a perfect day to do that. So I'm going to take the same exact design here. I blew up this template here to fit this canvas. This is a 9x12 canvas. So I'm going to be showing the same technique on a 9x12 canvas. If you are a member of the Happy Lettering Club, or if you subscribe to the template library, I put the smaller version of this is already in the template library, but I put this one that fits real big on this sheet here in there as well. So all you have to do is just go in there in Kajabi, in the Club Hub, or the template library. I mean, go to the template library and search Be Creative, and it's going to pull up, and you can download this PDF to fit perfectly on this 9x12 sign. So that is what we're going to do today. Hello, Deb. Hello, Tracy and Chris and Carissa. How are y'all doing? Today it is a beautiful sunny day, and I am so should probably be careful reaching over like that. Hey, Miss Donna. I am excited that it's sunny and beautiful outside, and I am ready to create this, to see if I can recreate this sign here. So this is just a canvas I got, I don't know, probably at Hobby Lobby or something. This is a 9x12. It's just, I wanted to make a bigger version of this. So I started out with a smaller one, but then I was like, let's go big with it. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back and see if I can make that a little bit more flat. Hey, Miss Brenda. Hey, Leanne. You couldn't find the template, so you freehanded it. It is in the template library, Leanne. If you just search Be Creative, it's going to pull up for you. So you can download it from there. Hey, Vicki. Good morning. I guess it's good afternoon. It's not good morning anymore. Okay. So if you guys have your phone handy, I'm going to show you the supplies that I'm using as I go. So be sure you can just take a screenshot of it so that you know what I'm going to be using. Okay. So I'm about to just show you the colors that I'm going to use for this. So I want you to take a screenshot with your phone. I'll name the colors as I use them, but this will get, hopefully you'll be able to read all the colors. Sorry, but this is what I'm using. Using all these bright colors, and I matched the design today, but I'm going to be using all these bright, colorful colors here, and then obviously white. I'm going to be using a skinny white paint pen and my favorite black marker here to do the lettering. And I might use some of this matte fluid medium just to thin my paint out just a bit, but we'll see. I'll let you know if I use any of that. So what I'm going to do first, so this is just really a bunch of layering with some different paint brushes and some different paints, and we're just kind of like creating a fun, almost like it's, almost like a junk journal type design. We're just, I don't know what the official name is for this sort of design is, but we'll go for it. So this is just a blank canvas. I'm going to start off with this Marina Mist by Folk Art. It's just a really light blue here. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and put all these colors on my paint palette here. This is a tangerine. So if you need to go back and watch the replay, this replay will be available on Facebook for 30 days. After 30 days, it will not. So you could always, this is bright pink. If you can't find it, you can always find it on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube also. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, go follow me on YouTube or subscribe, whatever. And it's just Canvas Sign Designs. So we're just grabbing all of our favorite colors here. Hey, Miss Marilyn. This is one of my absolute favorite colors. I think it's discontinued, but this is Chartreuse Yellow from Deco Art. I love it. If you don't have that, you can just use regular yellow. Regular yellow will be fine. But I love this chartreuse color. It's one of my faves. And then we'll use a little bit of white. Here. And then I may use some of the blending fluid. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it or not. This one was on craft paper, but this one is on a canvas. So, you know, the different surfaces accept the paint differently. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is just, you're going to want like a variation of different size paintbrushes. So I just kind of grabbed several different sizes. So I'm going to be just choosing from that. I'm first going to grab this really light blue. And we're just playing, having fun, just kind of hoping we don't get paint on our shirt. But we're going to start by, and because this is a lighter color, I'm starting with it first, just to kind of get that background. We don't have to completely cover the surface at all. And I'm just and we're just going to pile on top. We're just going to play. And you're going to just take some different brushes here. Let's see. Let's go with some orange. And I just kind of played. Looks like these are mixing a little bit. So I might there's really zero rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of getting this. If you are in the Sign Maker Society, remember that we did our bunny, our companion bunny sign for March was in this similar way. This is sort of exactly what we're going to do with this. But we're going to also pile on a lot of other things. So good morning, good afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon, Roxy. Hey, Juanita. So Leanne said, this is the best kind of painting, LOL. You don't have to think about it. It's exactly right. It's fun painting, right? So if you don't have a canvas, you could do this on a piece of wood. You could do this. This is what I am copying off of. I did this on the little craft notebook that we did. This was projects that we did in Happy Lettering Club with a template. So if you are not a part of the Happy Lettering Club or you do not subscribe to the template library, just comment HLC in the comments and you can get I'll send you some information on where you can go to find out information. But if you join just the template library, you get access to all of my hand lettered templates. It's $15 a month. There is probably about 40 different templates in there. So you can do all kinds of fun projects with them. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Marisa. Hey, Carissa. I'm glad you're watching us from work today. Our fast recap, Marisa, is that I created this design last year, and somebody in the Happy Lettering Club wanted me to teach this technique. So I'm teaching this exact same technique on a white canvas. So this is a 9x12. Marisa, you're in the Happy Lettering Club. If you go to the template library and just search Be Creative, this template is going to pull up. I put this bigger size here, which is going to fit right here in the middle. So we're just kind of taking all of these fun colors here, and we are decorating our board with it. Okay. And so I started off with the blue. I did the orange. Now let me use a round brush. I'm going to use some of the, let's go with some of this darker kind of a teal color. And so we're just having fun, just playing. I'm kind of grabbing some of these white spots and just putting paint in random spots. And you can even make it thicker like that so that they're not all patterned just the same. Like, you know, make some just a little bit different like this, because we're just going to keep doing this until we completely cover this board. Okay, so that is that color. I'm drawing in between layers because I'm using a canvas board. When I created this on here, on this little craft to notebook, I didn't have to dry between different colors just because it dried really fast. But on the canvas, it tends to stay wet a little bit longer. This could work. I don't know, Leanne, if it would work good with paint pens instead of paint. Like, it might, but I think you would really have to use a lot of the paint pen. I don't know. I feel like you would use up a lot of that ink or acrylic paint out of the paint pen. I probably would do it. I think you're going to get a prettier brush stroke look when you do it with the paint versus a paint pen. But like I did all the little all the little hearts and the squigglies and the polka dots and the stars and all that, I did those with paint pen. So, hey, Miss Patricia, how are you? Michelle, I know we both love blue. Blue is our fave. So pretty. Blue and pink, I guess. I am partial to the pink right now. Look how well it just coordinates. I coordinated my shirt with the project. So I'm going to get a different big giant brush here, and now I'm going to go with some pink. And I'm going to do pink. And again, I'm just going to, you know, it's always hard like recreating something else that you made that was really cool. So I created this and I just had fun with it. I just was playing around, and now I'm like, oh, I hope I can recreate it just as good. I hope I do it justice, because I feel a little nervous that I'm not going to be able to hold up to the cuteness of the first one. Do y'all ever do that? Do you ever create something and you're like, I want to recreate it, but I also am scared that I'm never going to make it the same twice? But I mean, that's just with art, right? Like, have fun and be messy. I like to just try to, you know, pretend like I'm a serious artist when I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna dry that. Paint just stays a little more wet on canvas. So if you were doing this on, like I said, on wood or a notebook or something like that, it would dry really fast. But because this is canvas, it sort of stays a little more wet, a little longer. Exactly, Marisa. No two projects are the same. And it always feels like the one that you just like are quick about, like, and you don't try as hard. Like, those always seem like those are the ones that turn out the best, you know? So now this is a chartreuse by Deco Art, and I love this like yellow green. So I'm going to try to kind of put this in some of these lighter spots here, which really feels like it's kind of pulling it together. It's adding that splash of like brightness. So I'm looking at my screen because it's easier to see like where I need to put this when I look up versus when I'm looking down. Sometimes, you know, like getting that far away perspective really helps. So sometimes if you're doing something, walk away, like step away from it and look at it from a far away, and you'll notice a lot of things about it that you did not notice at first. So just trying to get this in some of these, and we're gonna like layer. I'm gonna go back with some of these other colors and just layer them on so that they are kind of stacked. Let's see. And this was also done on, you know, like I said, on this brown craft. So it's going to pull that brown color in the background, whereas this is pulling the white color in the background. And that could make a big difference on the way it looks also. So I'm just going to fill some of this chartreuse color in some of these like areas that I feel like the white is showing through a lot. Because like I said, I'm going to pile you want to just kind of make very different sizes of paint strokes, like some maybe fatter, some like long and skinny. I think that's the name of the game. Let's see. Let's go with, use a smaller brush here for some more orange. Add orange in some different spots. You could even do like, see how I go up and then back down. You can go from using your brush on the wide side to using it on a skinny side. Marisa said it looks like a blurry tulip patch. It kind of does. Like, you know, like painters, when they first start a project, it starts out like really messy and then things start kind of taking form. That's what I feel like it's doing. Hey, Mary, how are you? Marilyn said, I was looking for your Amazon link earlier, but didn't find it. Thought I saw it posted in the feature guide on one of your sites. It is, Marilyn. It is posted, I feel like either in the Sign Maker Society or the Happy Lettering Club. In the guides, I think it'll say like Jennifer's favorite lettering supplies on Amazon. I think that's where it is located. Let's see. Let's go with, oh, let's do some of that light blue. Let's bring some of that light blue back up here. And this is just fun. This is fun to play around. And you could even do like this, like this kind of. Just, I think the key is just not making it, try to not make it look uniform, which sometimes can be hard, but just try to make it not look like you're trying to make it like, you know, any certain way. You don't want any of the pieces to all just be just alike, right? So we're going to pile on lots of different like things on top of it too. So just remember that as well. Let's see. Let's do some more of this color here. Just kind of bring it over. So I'm just looking at my book here, and I have like, you know, kind of like little patches of. It's just so fun. There's really honestly something so freeing about just playing, you know, like, and not trying to like stay in the lines and You don't want it to be perfect. Like something so relaxing about that. Okay, now I'm not really, I have, or I didn't that time, didn't really dry it in between layers. So we're just, we're just going, it's almost like graffiti, right? Like you want that graffiti look where it's just all over the place. Put it over some of my pink that I had already done. Let's see. Do I need to put it? I'm looking on the screen here, just kind of looking, seeing it from a distance to see, make sure everything's kind of, evened out. Maybe a little bit of pink there, maybe some right there. Cute. Okay, let's do a little bit of orange again. Almost like that well-loved canvas that, you've painted over a bunch of times, and it's almost like it would be like a scrap, like piece of like board that you use to like clean off your brushes or something. That's what it kind of reminds me of when you look at it, like, an old paint palette or something that you've had just sitting around. Okay. There. Now I'm going to go one more time over with the chartreuse color. It's my fave. I love these two colors together. It's so pretty. And you can just keep doing this till you feel like, okay, I'm done and I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Okay, so we're trying to kind of just mimic a similar background. Obviously, will never be the same, but then let's see. After I did that, let's dry this, because then we're going to add all these little doodles on top of it. So do you see all the little stars and the hearts and the polka dots and those, loopy lines? We're going to do that. And actually, no, I'll do the lettering first and then I'll come back with some of that. Oh, I think I did some of it first. I'm trying to remember the order. Are there any colors that might not look good together? Marisa, I think it's just a matter of opinion. So what I do is I always gather my paint bottles and I just kind of like set them like this, and I'll bring a color and I'll be like, oh, let me see what that looks like. Okay, that looks good with that, and sometimes I'll bring a color over and I'm like, that doesn't feel like it meshes well. So I think it's just a matter of an opinion with, how you feel. If you don't want to do all the different colors, you could just do a kind of fun background like that, with the doodles and all the things. But I think any bright, fun colors will look good together. I probably wouldn't use this technique with like pastels. I mean, pastels might look okay. I've just never done it, but I feel like it needs to be something very like bright and colorful. So you could add purple in with it. You could do, you want to make sure your lettering's going to show. So if you do super dark colors and light colors together, it may not, your lettering may not show up because the dark lettering isn't going to show up against the dark background. The light lettering isn't going to show up against the light background. So, have that in mind too. Try to use the same sort of color, like, think about if you're gonna letter in white, you want these colors to be darker. If you're gonna letter in black, then you want these colors to be, lighter than the black. if that makes sense. Michelle just got a notification that your sign from last month just got to the, oh my gosh, Michelle, it's going to be Easter before you get that sign. I thought you had already had it by now. Oh my goodness. It's going to come, your new sign is going to come before your old sign. You should have let me send you another one. Heather is at work stapling paperwork together while watching. That is a good job to do while watching this. That's something you can just pay attention to something else. Okay, so I'm gonna get like a lighter paintbrush here. Let's do some like dabs. Okay, just gonna. There is zero method to this other than just kind of randomly doing this. And if I put white somewhere and I was like, I do not like that, you can just get one of your other colors and cover it up. Does not have to be, you know, doesn't have to stay there. That's one good thing about this. And again, yeah, like every time you do this, it's going to look different. So it's probably never going to look just the same. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do my lettering first before I finish all the other little doodles. So I'm going to dry this real good. We're going to trace our template on here, and then we will add all the final things, the final work. I kind of like the darker background on this. Like if you did a wood sign, you could just have it that wood and not like base coat it. Just leave it that wood color and let some of the, you know, wood colors show through. I mean, it's just two different looks. It looks very similar, but I sort of like this brown kind of background of this little notebook. But we'll see. We'll see. Yes, Patricia, this template is in the template library. If you go to the template library, search Be Creative, and it is going to pull this up. And I even added this bigger size here that I'm using today. It'll say, you know, Be Creative 8 by 11, I think it says, so that it will fit this. This is a 9 by 12 canvas, but you can scale it down or make it bigger depending on what you need. Marisa said, if I use a darkish background, then you could letter in white. Yes, you could letter in white, Marisa. I think that would look just fine. Okay, so I'm going to get this template and just center it here on this canvas, and my clip is not going to reach because it's not big enough. It's not long enough. So let me see. Let me get a little tiny piece of painter's tape. I'm always leery to use this because I don't want to peel off any of the paint here, but I don't think it will because it is painter's tape. I'm just going to do that just to make sure that my template doesn't slide around. And then now I have some of this graphite paper in gray. And I'm going to put this underneath here. Shiny side down. And then I'm going to get my little pencil here. And now we're just going to trace. I'm not going to do the hearts because I'm going to add hearts to this, but I'm just going to trace this lettering here, and it's just going to put it exactly where it needs to go so that I know when I get my marker, I don't have to worry about my spacing. I don't have to worry about, am I going to run out of room? Is everything balanced? It is already did the hard work for you with the template. So once we get the design on the board, you can just get to the fun stuff. And I always use my own template. I could try to freehand this, but it's not going to look as good. It won't look as like centered, and the layout wouldn't be the same. So I always use my own templates all the time. It is my hand lettering, of course, but I say work smarter, not harder. It's the beauty of having all these templates done for you, is that you don't have to worry about putting the phrases together and getting it all situated. I do that for you. 2, 3. I think I'm going to hang this in my studio. Okay, so before I untape this, I just want to check and make sure that that image, the lettering traced, and it did. And look, that didn't peel off any of my paint, so we're good there. Let's see. And you can see I know exactly where to letter with my pen because I already have it here. So let's see if I can record this with my phone. I always forget to do this, and this might be a good little video to make. Sorry, y'all. One moment, please. I always forget to record. And it's nice sometimes to have these videos. Okay, so I'm going to be using this black Faber-Castell marker. Oh, sensitive painter's tape. I did not even know there was such a thing, Patricia. Thank you. I'm going to get that. I'm going to be using this to do my lettering here. So I'm just going to start up here. You can make your downstrokes thicker if you want. Or you can just do it just like that. I'll kind of decide if I want to thicken up any of these lines after I see what it looks like. I didn't do that in this original here, but it's also a lot smaller. Let's see, where did that just stop? So it's just so much easier when you can just go through and trace these lines. Just like that. Now, obviously, I can do this fast because it's my own handwriting and I'm more experienced. So go as slow as you need to go. Do not feel like you need to go the speed that I'm going. Okay. Can't decide. I think I do want to kind of just thicken up those downstrokes just a little bit. I think my mail lady is going to be here in a minute. Here she is. Maybe I set the package outside, so hopefully she'll see that. It's always package delivery time during my lives, I feel like, or mail delivery or package pickup, whatever. So I'm just gonna thicken up these lines just a little bit here. And this is just everywhere my pen would normally drag down when I'm making the letters. That's what I'm making thicker. This can get tricky to do if you have a thicker pen. So you may not want to do it. Sorry, I got to concentrate on this. You may not want to do it if your pen is really thick and you have just a very small space to work with. You may not want to do it because it maybe get really hard. But so you could also use a thinner marker. And in fact, I actually have the exact same marker in a smaller version. So I can kind of just oh, that's so much better. Why didn't I think to do that before? I can use this little one to kind of correct. Excuse me. And these also come with a little skinny tip too. So I could have used that to kind of get any of these smaller areas that I wanted to clean up. So I'll go back and use those for the smaller words. Right now I'll just concentrate on these bigger letters here. Let's add it to here. Usually just put my pen right beside the letter and just kind of trace right beside the letter. Okay, just like that. And then you could either take the end of this or like a smaller brush tip. This is still a little bit wet, so I've got to be careful. Now, when you are doing stuff like this on canvas, it can be a little bit bumpy. So just take that into consideration. I like the black marker that I use because I feel like it works better than a paint pen. I'm not as likely to get those bumpy lines when I use that one. Okay, let's go here. And all right. Let me do one thing here. I'm going to make this just a little thicker. And my graphite lines are showing right there. So just want to cover that up. Okay. I'm just kind of Doing a little once over, make sure I got everything. I don't think I thickened this part up. Probably really confusing y'all with that being upside down. Okay, so I always just, again, I'm looking everything over, seeing if there's anything that I want to fix or straighten up before I put those final touches on. And I think I already said this, but you're going to want to spray seal it. Don't use a brush sealer when you're using these markers because they will smear. Okay, here's one thing I want to fix real quick. Okay. It is bright and cheerful. Look how good that is. That looks so pretty. Okay, so now we're going to even take it one step further and add all these fun doodles. And so I'm going to do black and white. The black, I'll just use my black pens here, but for white, I'm going to use a white paint pen. And the reason is because it's going to be bolder and it's going to show up a lot better. And then I can, use the tip of it to be really more precise. And so I just kind of decided on different textures and doodles. There is no whatever I thought about at the time. So we're going to add some dots here. I should probably slow it down so that they don't smear. So there's some dots there. And you could even do bigger ones because this is a bigger board. I could have chosen a bit bigger. Let's see. Let me grab one of my bigger Poscas. Since this is bigger than this, we'll see what it looks like using like. So when it comes to designs like this, you don't want to do like a pattern that you want it to be kind of a little off. So see how this looks kind of contained? You're always going to kind of want to like do some like, you want to make it look a little, you don't want it to put all your circles in a little square shape or a little circle shape. So you kind of want to be like, if you did this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, you could do a few up here. You just make it look a little kind of, that looks like it's all symmetrical, but I'm not trying to make it that way. Just kind of, I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining that because it's symmetrical this way, but just doing some dashes like that versus in a like shape like that. I don't know if that is even, even explaining myself very well because I definitely do not think I am. I'm just going to put some bigger dots on top of these. Like these were probably just a wee bit too small. They fit the little notebook, but on here, it'll just be a little mix of little mixed pattern here. Yes, Rust-Oleum is what I use, Marisa. Yeah. And I'm sure all of them will look fine, but the Rust-Oleum is what I like. You might, if you feel like your dots are hard to see, you can go over them again. And obviously, if you're going to do white dots, pick a spot with darker colors. That would, that would probably be a good idea. That would be wise. So there's some white there. Then, let's see, I think I added, and I'm just copying off my little first version here because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I just did, remember how we used to do these when you were a kid? Just do a star like that. Does not, you want it to look like just messy doodles, okay? So there is a star there. Let's do one down here. And kind of if it looks like sketchy and kind of scratchy looking, it actually might look a little bit better. Because again, you're trying to make it look like a messy doodle. Messy doodle. Let's see. And then I added some of these like little designs here. You could even get a piece of chalk or a chalk pencil or a white charcoal pencil and draw these out first. If you were a little nervous just taking the paint pen to it, get a piece of chalk or a white watercolor pencil or charcoal pencil and draw these on here. Let's see, I'm going to do this down here because it goes here, but there's white there. I don't think you'll see that. So let's see. Let's do another one right here. I'm having to worry about if this is dry. So what I'm going to do is just flip this upside down. Okay, there's that. Okay, and then I did another little diamond pattern up here. Like this white, just globbed a bunch on here, but thankfully this is a design that I could use that to fill it in, or I'd have been in trouble. Okay, now let's take black. So you could either, like, since I use this, I'm just going to use this fine tip part of this black pen. You could use a black paint pen if you wanted to, but you want the doodle parts to be a little thinner than your big, thick paint, because what happens is if they're not, and I got the black and say that I use this bigger tip in to do a lot of these designs, it's going to draw the eye to all of the black things versus drawing the eye. We want your eye to be drawn to the lettering first, and then you see all the other stuff. So if your doodles are too bold, then it might be too much, okay? So we just want these to look like little sketches. We're just doing little stars, hearts. Make these a little thicker. I think I just randomly just added these in the space. And the spaces, they needed to go. Let me do some of these. Here's what I mean. You don't want it to be like that, like the number 5, right? You want it to be a little more random looking. We don't want it to look like a domino. And this part I probably could dash with my marker. It would have been easier. You just got to be really careful that it's not too bold. And I think I made it like really bold in 2 spots here. So it seemed to work for that. So we'll do that. Let's see that. So see how I kind of did it off. I guess the domino explanation is probably good. You know, you don't want them in a particular order. And then I did like a squiggly here. I feel like I need to go over this again. Make it a little darker. Just because this is canvas and because this tip is a lot thinner, you get more of that texture pulling through on it. So you may have to just go over it twice. So there's that. And let's see, and then I just keep adding hearts and different spots. And I think I did a little squiggle there. And let's see, a little squiggly there. You just come out and decorate it however you want. You may hear my husband out weed eating and mowing. It's been so wet and rainy here, like we have not been able to do anything outside, weed eat or anything. Okay. Let's see. Add a heart here. I think I need something there. Let's do a Isn't that so fun? Look, y'all, it looks so similar. Very, very similar. Okay, you can add all the things that you want. Let's see, anything else? Okay. Now you can take either, let's see, I think my phone just, it stopped. Now I'm going to take this white charcoal pencil here and just go through the inside of this. And it just softens it up just a little bit. I used to do this with my paintbrush and paint, but it gives people fits. And so I started doing this, and this is so much easier. And I think it makes it doable for everybody. The only thing is you'll need to, like, you know, spray seal it so that this doesn't wipe off. Because if you don't spray seal it, this chalk is probably going to, wipe off if you rub on it. It's a good alternative to putting some like paint accents through that. So you see that, and it just softens it up. See how it makes that just feel softer and not as bold and harsh. This is such a fun kind of play, like a way to kind of play and just be creative. And it just always feels so nice because you're not so worried about messing it up, because there's really no, it's just messy. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Okay, and then I took some glitter. I think I used my silver, my Pentel Sparkle Pop. So you can read that. Pentel, I can't, but I know a lot of y'all already know what this is. But anyway, let me just take care of something real fast. Let me pull this up. Okay, so let's see what you said. Dub says it looks light and springy with those colors. Michelle said, no problem. Messy is my jam. It's fun to just get and play and not feel like you have to like stay within your lines, right? Like sometimes it is so nice to just, you know, be creative and play. So I'm going to get this Pentel Sparkle Pop here. And I am going to just take this over like some of the white, and it's going to put a little, let's see if I can get you to see, the lines are right through there, but it's going to, you know, it's hard to see on camera, but it gives it a little sparkle. And that's always fun. So let's see, let's go over. I wish you could really see what this is looking like with the sparkly. Just hate that I can't ever capture it with my computer. Let's see if we can get you to see that. See how it's, yeah, there. See how it's lined out that way? Let's see. Well, it shimmers and sparkles. So it's not something that's super bold, but it's definitely something that, you know, if you see it in person, your eye is drawn to it, and it just adds a little fun. And these pens are gel pens, so they will take a bit to dry. So be careful that you don't run your hand through them. I just love the sound, by the way. Like I'm just hearing my husband mow, and I just love the sound of like in the summertime and the lawnmower's going, or in the springtime, and you just know it's like warm outside and it's pretty, and like you can just think about smelling that fresh cut grass. I love that. Like, yes, Leanne, it does remind me of the 80s too. And then you could even just take this and go over, I'm going to go over all of my black because it really does make it stand out and shine. Even though on the video, y'all can't see it. But any of you that use this, like especially those in my lettering group, y'all know it's hard to see it over the camera, but you can see it with your eyeballs. So we're just, ooh, this is so cute. I'm doing this upside down so I don't run my hand through the glitter that I have already added. I'll hold it up and see if y'all can see the sparkle on the black a little bit better. And on that notebook that I did, I ran this glitter through the letters, but can you see, let's see how it's kind of shimmery? See that? So cute. So I'm going to take this, and I'm also going to run some of it through, and you can be messy with these. The good thing with these pens, you can be messy with it because it's not dark enough where it's going to show or look like you scribbled. You're just going to get like the kind of the shimmer of the glitter from it. I almost like want to do like a whole, just one of the girls in the Happy Lettering Club did this design on a big wood panel to hang in her craft room. And I I kind of want to do that too. I think it would be fun to do on a real big like sheet of wood. Just do the same technique, and you're almost like, it's like kind of, it reminds me of like some graffiti. And just do that on a whole wall. Like in my craft room, of course. I wouldn't, not my house. I think that would be fun. I think these are easier to use on top of the letters too than the just glitter paint, because then you don't have to worry about smearing your letters. So sometimes when you put glitter on top of these markers, you have to be very, very careful that you don't smear the marker, because the marker is not, it's permanent, but it will react with anything liquid like water. So when you're putting like sealer or something like that on top of it, it will make it more fluid, and it could make it smear. So these just kind of, see how that adds that little sparkle? And you can't tell that I was like scribbling or being messy with it, but it just gives it just the right amount of shine. So how cute is that? Lettering club, Heather. I wish I had a glitter club. That would be fun. Lettering club is what I said. But I might have said glitter club. Glitter club. I might have said glitter club. Who knows? Sometimes I say things on here and I'll watch the replay and I'll be like, I just totally said the completely wrong thing. Like I just get so into what I'm doing. Marisa says she loves the smell of fresh cut grass too. I know, isn't it? It's like, it's just everything summer. I just love summer. I love summertime. Hey, Colleen. Okay, so I hope that you guys like this. It would be nice if we had a glitter club. We need to make our own glitter club, right? Okay, so we took this idea on this little craft notebook and we put it on a 9x12 canvas. And I used a template from the template library from the Happy Lettering Club template library. So it's just a one example of how you can take a template and how you can make multiple products off of one template. So it doesn't have to be always a sign. It could be a notebook, or you could put it on I don't know, a metal basket, or a door hanger, or whatever, a canvas, like just one template can make lots of different things. And this, if you are a member of the Happy Lettering Club or you are a subscriber to the template library, if you go into the template library in Kajabi, just search Be Creative. This will pull up. I uploaded this size template in there so that it will fit perfectly on this 9x12 board. But you can also scale it down to make it smaller. And there are just other templates, and it's in there in a PDF, a JPEG. And if you are a Procreate user, there's a Procreate file in there for you as well. So, okay, well, thank y'all for hanging out with me today. This was fun. I hope you have a good Wednesday, and I'll see y'all on here next week. Bye.